Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? This time we're tackling lucid dreaming with this Unlocking Lucidity guide.
Oh, yeah. This will be good.
I mean, just the idea of knowing you're dreaming while it's happening and then being able to control it, it's mind-blowing.
It really is. And what's even cooler is there's actual science behind it. We're talking about REM sleep here.
Right, REM sleep.
Yeah, when our brains are super active.
Yeah.
Especially with those gamma waves,
Yeah.
It's almost like being awake.
So it's tricking our brains, kind of like, hey, you're awake, but we're totally out. That's wild.
It is.
And speaking of brains, this guide mentions the prefrontal cortex being especially active during lucid dreaming. That's the part responsible for decisions and self-awareness, right?
Exactly. Which
Yeah.
makes total sense because in a lucid dream, you know you're dreaming and you can make choices. It's that, wait a minute, I'm in charge here moment.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture. So it's more than just a cool party trick for our brains, right?
Way more.
This guide suggests some serious benefits beyond just the fun of it all.
Oh, absolutely. Think of it like a mental gym, seriously.
Okay, a mental gym. I like that.
Yeah. Lucid dreaming can help you problem solve like you wouldn't believe. Imagine tackling real-life issues in your dream, trying different solutions, seeing what happens,
Oh, wow.
but all in a safe space,
Yeah,
no real-world consequences.
that's so cool. I tend to overthink things a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think lucid dreaming could help me sort through all that mental clutter? It'd be like a brainstorming session while I'm asleep.
It very well could. The guide even has stories of people who had breakthroughs in their work or personal life, all thanks to insights from lucid dreams. And it's not just problem solving, we're talking creativity too.
Oh, right. The guide mentioned that.
Yeah, imagine a world where the laws of physics don't apply. Your imagination can run wild. That's what a lucid dream is like.
That's insane. Anyone could use that. Artists, musicians, writers, anyone could tap into that kind of creative space.
For sure.
But okay, how do we actually get to this point of being lucid? Because this guide really hammers home dream journaling. It's step one, essential stuff.
Well, it's all about training your mind, to catch those dream memories before they disappear. Imagine waking up from this epic dream adventure and it just fades away.
Ugh, I hate when that happens.
Yeah. But the journal, it helps you hold on to those experiences, the details, the feelings. And it's not just about remembering the cool stuff.
Okay, what else?
Well, writing it down, you start to see patterns, recurring themes, symbols, things that can act as clues when you're actually in a dream.
That's interesting. So how detailed should these journal entries be?
The guide says to write as soon as you wake up and be as detailed as possible. And don't forget to review it regularly to spot those patterns we were talking about.
So it's like becoming a detective of your own dreams. I like it.
Exactly.
Now, the guide also talks about these reality checks,
Oh, yeah.
which sounds like how you figure out if you're dreaming while you're in the dream.
That's it. Think of them as little tests you can do while dreaming to tell if you're in dreamland or the real world. Simple things, but effective.
Okay, give me an example.
Well, like counting your fingers. Often in dreams, they might look weird or the number changes. Another one is checking a clock or some text. Time and words can get all fluid in dreams, They change when you look away and back.
Okay, I'm trying that tonight. I'm so curious to see if it actually works. It's just so wild to think about knowing I'm dreaming while it's happening.
I know, right? And that's the key, that realization. You start questioning your reality. The guide says the more you practice these checks while awake, the more likely you are to do them instinctively in a dream.
Makes sense, like building a habit that carries over into dreamland. I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah, it all connects.
But one thing I'm a bit confused about is the guide mentions mindfulness and meditation, and I don't really get how that ties into lucid dreaming.
That's a good question. It might seem unrelated at first, but think about it. Being mindful means paying attention to the present moment, noticing your thoughts and feelings. And that same awareness is what you need to recognize when you're dreaming.
Ah, so mindfulness helps you sense that shift into the dream state.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And even meditation techniques, like focusing on your breath, can be used in a dream to stay lucid. It's like grounding yourself. The guide suggests regular meditation can make a huge difference in your ability to become and stay lucid.
Okay, I see the connection now. It's all about training your mind to be present and aware, both awake and asleep.
You got it.
But let's be honest, becoming a lucid dreamer probably isn't a walk in the park, right?
Yeah.
The guy talks about some challenges, and I'm curious to hear more about those.
Of course. It takes time, practice, patience. Becoming lucid isn't always easy, and even when you do, staying lucid can be tricky.
I bet.
One common challenge is dream control, or the lack of it. You might find it hard to actually influence the dream environment, to make things happen the way you want.
Oh, I can imagine that being frustrating. It's like you're a director, but your actors keep improvising.
Haha, that's a great way to put it. And the guide has suggestions for dealing with this, like practicing visualization techniques before you sleep.
Visualizing yourself, controlling your dreams.
Yeah, the more you do that, the better you'll get at it in the dream state.
Mental rehearsal for lucid dreaming. I like that.
Exactly.
What about those times when you think you've woken up, but you're actually still dreaming? The guide calls those false awakenings.
Oh yeah, those can be pretty freaky.
Right. It's like your brain is playing tricks on you.
It is. And that's where those reality checks we talked about come in super handy.
Ah, okay.
Make it a habit to do a reality check anytime you wake up, even if you think you're in the real world. Saves a lot of confusion.
Good tip. I'm going to try that.
Definitely do.
And then there's just the classic struggle of remembering dreams in the first place. I feel like most mornings, my dreams just vanish.
Yes, the dream recall problem.
It's the worst.
That's where that dream journal is your best friend.
Makes sense.
The guide emphasizes consistency here. Keep that journal by your bed and write down anything you remember, even if it's just fragments or doesn't make sense.
So even those little bits and pieces before they're totally gone.
Yep, it's like piecing together a puzzle.
But what if you do become lucid, but it's fleeting? Like you start losing control and slipping back into a regular dream.
Oh, that's common. You'll have these moments of clear awareness, then it gets hazy again.
So frustrating.
It can be, but the guide suggests techniques for stabilizing that lucidity.
Oh, like what?
Try spinning around in the dream or rubbing your hands together. Sounds weird, but it can help ground you, maintain that control.
I'll have to try it.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
This is all making so much more sense now. I'm actually starting to feel like I could become a lucid dreamer myself. We've covered so much, the science, the techniques, the challenges. It's amazing how much information this guide packs in.
Right. And we've only just scratched the surface. Unlocking lucidity is a great start, but it also opens up so many more questions and possibilities.
That's what I love about these deep dives. It's like the more you learn, the more you realize there's so much more to explore.
Exactly. And in the next part of our deep dive, we'll delve into those incredible possibilities. We'll talk about those dreamscapes that guide mentions and how lucid dreaming can be used for personal growth, creativity, even problem solving in ways you wouldn't believe.
Okay, now I'm really hooked. We'll be back after a short break to continue our journey into the fascinating world of lucid dreaming. Stay tuned.
All right, so we were talking about some of the challenges of lucid dreaming, but unlocking lucidity makes it clear. The rewards, they could be huge.
I'm ready for it. I love that the guide uses this term, dreamscapes, to describe those dream environments we can explore when we're lucid.
Yeah, dreamscape, it really captures that sense of limitless possibility.
It does.
And it's not just about controlling the dream. It's about stepping into this world where your imagination is the only rule. Imagine flying through a sky full of, swirling colors, or walking through a forest where the trees actually whisper secrets, that kind of thing.
Whoa. Okay, I'm picturing it.
Yeah. And in the dreamscape, physics, it doesn't apply. You can create literally anything you can think of.
It's like having your own personal holodeck, like in Star Trek. But I'm curious, what can we actually do with this kind of power? Because the guide hints at some pretty amazing applications beyond just, having fun.
Right. Well, remember how we were talking about lucid dreaming for problem solving?
Yeah.
Well, in a dreamscape, you take that to a whole other level. Imagine building a prototype for an invention in your dream, trying out designs, materials, seeing how they actually work in a simulated environment.
That's insane. So cool.
Or you could practice a tough conversation or a presentation you're nervous about, refine your approach, build your confidence, all in your dream.
It's like a virtual reality lab inside your own mind. This is blowing my mind.
Right. And it's not just about the practical stuff either. The guide also talks about how dreamscapes can be used for personal growth, even emotional healing.
Okay, now that's really interesting.
Think about it. You could confront a fear, or a traumatic memory. But this time, you have the power to change the outcome.
That's a powerful thought.
You face those fears in a safe space, deal with the emotions, and it can be really empowering.
Wow. Yeah. like a chance to heal old wounds and get rid of those beliefs that are holding you back.
Exactly. And it's not just about facing the bad stuff either.
Yeah.
You could visit your dream destination, hang out with loved ones who aren't around anymore, or just, feel that sense of peace and joy that's sometimes hard to find in real life.
This is incredible. I'm really starting to see the potential here. It's like transformative almost.
It really can be. And then there's the whole connection between lucid dreaming and creativity, which the guide touches on too.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
So think about it this way. In a dreamscape, there are no rules, no limitations of like logic or physics. You can blend colors that don't exist, compose music that breaks all the rules, write stories that bend time and space.
Right.
It's like pure creative fuel.
I've heard about musicians and artists getting inspiration for their work from dreams. Could lucid dreaming be a way to like tap into that on purpose?
For sure. The guide actually gives some examples of famous artists and writers who use dream imagery in their work. Think about Salvador Dali, those surreal landscapes, or authors like Neil Gaiman creating those fantastical worlds. Lucid dreaming can be a way to explore those parts of your mind, and bring back those creative ideas.
That's so wild. Makes you wonder what kind of creativity is hiding in our own dreams, right?
It definitely does.
But before we all run off to become dream artists, the guide does make some points about safety and ethics when it comes to lucid dreaming.
Oh, for sure. It's got to be approached responsibly.
Yeah.
While it's generally safe for most people, the guide does say it might not be good for everyone, like people with certain mental health conditions.
Right. That makes sense. Always best to check with the doctor if you're not sure.
Exactly. And even if you're totally healthy, the guide stresses, like, don't use lucid dreaming as an escape from reality or to avoid dealing with tough stuff.
Yeah, I get that.
It's a powerful tool, but it's not a replacement for actually living your life,
It's about finding that balance, I guess, using what you learn in your dreams to actually help you in the real world.
Exactly.
But what about the ethics? The guide mentions that too. I'm curious to hear your take.
It's interesting, right? It raises questions about how we should act in our dreams, especially when we can control them.
Yeah, I've never thought about it that way.
The guide's big on respecting boundaries, even within dreams. Like if you meet other dream characters, you got to treat them with respect, even though logically we know they're not real.
So it's like there's a code of conduct for the dream world to make sure we're acting in line with our values, even there.
Exactly. And it's about considering the consequences of what we do, even in a dream. Lucid dreaming, it's powerful, and like any power, it can be used for good or bad.
That's a good point.
The key is approach it responsibly and understand the potential impact.
This is a lot to think about. We've covered so much ground here. The science, the potential, the ethics, this guide, Unlocking Lucidity, it's really given us a lot to chew on.
It has. And you know what? We're not done yet. There's still more to explore.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued.
Then the last part of our deep dive, we're going to tackle the big question, what does it all mean? We're going to try to connect the dots, the science, the techniques, the potential, to understand what lucid dreaming is really all about.
All right, now I'm really hooked. We'll be right back after a short break to wrap up our deep dive into the world of lucid dreaming. Stay with us.
All right, we're back for the final part of our lucid dreaming deep dive. It's been a wild ride. We've talked about the science, the techniques, even the challenges and ethical stuff. This Unlocking Lucidity guide, it's given us a lot to think about, that's for sure.
It really has. It's like we've opened this door to a whole new world, you know, where what's real and what's imagined. It all kind of blurs together.
Exactly. And as we're like stepping through this door, I can't help but wonder, what does it all mean?
Right.
Like the guide gives us all these practical tips, but it doesn't really go into the deeper stuff. Like, why do we have this ability?
Yeah.
What does it say about like consciousness itself?
Those are the big questions, aren't they? The ones that have always fascinated philosophers and scientists. Lucid dreaming, it really challenges our understanding of what it means to be human, to be aware. It suggests that our minds can create and experience things that are just as real, in a way, as the physical world. It's mind-blowing. I've always loved the idea that our dreams might be more than just like random brain activity, that they could have a deeper meaning or a purpose.
Yeah.
Could lucid dreaming be a way to tap into that, like unlock the secrets of our subconscious?
It's possible, for sure. Some people believe lucid dreaming is a way to reach a higher state of consciousness, to connect with a deeper part of ourselves.
Wow.
Others see it as a tool for personal growth, to face your fears, explore your desires, and become a more whole person.
So it's like lucid dreaming gives us the keys to our own inner universe.
I like that. The keys to our inner universe. And that universe, it's just as vast and mysterious as the one outside us.
But where do we even start? How do we make sense of it all?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway here is this. Lucid dreaming, it's a journey, not a destination.
Okay, a journey. I like that.
It's about exploration, trying things out, discovering yourself. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The guide gives us a starting point, but in the end, it's up to each of us to find our own path, to create our own meaning.
That's a good point. It's about embracing the mystery, the unknown. And who knows what we'll find along the way, right? Maybe we'll solve problems that have been bugging us forever or create amazing art. Or maybe we'll just understand ourselves and our place in the universe a little bit better.
I think that's the real magic of lucid dreaming,
Yeah.
that realization that we're more powerful, more creative than we ever thought possible.
Yeah. We have this ability to shape our reality, both in our dreams and in our waking lives. That's incredible.
It is.
Well, to our listener who's been with us on this incredible journey, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep pushing those boundaries. You never know what amazing adventures are waiting for you in the land of dreams. Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams, everyone.